The massive starship hummed with quiet energy as Jaiwo Park stood at the observation deck. Outside, the alien vessel gleamed like a silver diamond against the endless black of space. His hands were steady, but his heart raced with anticipation. Commander Aaron of the Nixtal species approached, her iridescent skin shifting colors with each movement. Her species had contacted humans just 3 months ago, and every interaction felt like walking on fragile glass. Diplomatic missions were never simple, especially when two completely different civilizations met for the first time. "Your species intrigues me," Aaron said, her translator converting her complex language into clear English. Her voice carried a musical quality, almost like wind passing through crystal pipes. Jaiwo nodded, keeping his posture professional. He knew every gesture, every word could potentially change the course of human-alien relationships. The research team had prepared him extensively for this moment. The observation deck was a neutral space, designed with smooth surfaces and soft lighting that felt comfortable to both humans and Nixtal. Holographic displays showed star charts, communication logs, and complex mathematical representations of their respective technological capabilities. "We are curious about your social structures," Aaron continued. Her large, almond-shaped eyes studied Jaiwo with an intensity that made him slightly uncomfortable. "Your communication patterns are complex. Humans had always been different. While most advanced species focused purely on logical interactions and genetic propagation, humans developed intricate emotional networks. Love, friendship, compassion, these were not just words but fundamental aspects of human existence." Jaiwo decided to be direct. "We value connections beyond biological necessities," he explained. "Our relationships are not just about survival or reproduction." Aaron's skin flickered with patterns of blue and green, a sign of deep processing among her species. She seemed both confused and fascinated. "Explain," she requested. So Jaiwo began telling her about human relationships. How people form bonds that transcend immediate survival. How they care for individuals who might not provide direct genetic or economic benefits. How emotions drive innovation, creativity, and collective progress. The Nixtal had algorithms for perfect genetic matching. Reproduction was a calculated process, devoid of emotional complexity. Humans, in contrast, fell in love, formed families, created communities based on mutual understanding and emotional resonance. As Jaiwo spoke, Aaron's skin continued changing colors. Her species communicated through bioluminescent patterns, and right now, she was processing information at an incredible rate. A small holographic display between them showed quick translations, mathematical representations of human social interactions. Complex network diagrams illustrated how human connections worked not like precise machinery, but like a living, breathing ecosystem. "Your system seems inefficient," Aaron finally said. But there was curiosity in her voice, not criticism. Jaiwo smiled. "Efficiency isn't always about perfect calculations. Sometimes it's about adaptability, creativity, emotional intelligence." Outside the observation deck, stars continued their silent dance. Millions of light years separated countless civilizations, each with their unique understanding of existence. And here, in this moment, two species were trying to understand each other. Aaron's next question would change everything. "Do humans truly do more than just mate?" she asked, her translator rendering the question with childlike innocence and profound scientific curiosity. Jaiwo took a deep breath. "How do you explain the complexity of human emotion to a species that understood relationships through pure mathematical precision?" "We do," he said simply. "We love. We connect. We create." The universe listened, the conference room buzzed with tension. Hyuk Kim, the lead xenosociologist, stood before a holographic display showing intricate human relationship networks. The Nixtal delegation watched with growing confusion. Commander Aaron leaned forward, her skin shifting between deep blue and pale green, a sign of intense concentration. Behind her, 3 senior Nixtal researchers recorded every moment of the presentation. "In human society," Hyuk began, "relationships are not just about genetic transfer or survival strategy. They are complex emotional ecosystems. He clicked a button, and the hologram transformed. Images of human families, friendships, and community gatherings appeared. An elderly couple holding hands. Children playing in a park. Colleagues supporting each other during difficult times. The Nixtal representatives looked perplexed. Their own society operated on strict biological protocols. Reproduction was a calculated process. Emotional attachment was considered inefficient and unnecessary. Humans form bonds that serve no immediate biological purpose, HFY explained. We care for individuals who cannot contribute to our survival. We love beyond logic. Aaron's translator worked overtime, converting these complex emotional concepts into her species' clinical language. Each translation seemed to lose something essential: the warmth, the depth of human connection. A video played showing a group of strangers helping an injured person. Nobody knew each other. There was no genetic connection. No immediate benefit. Yet they worked together, risking their own safety. Why? One Nixtal researcher asked. His voice carried genuine confusion. HFY smiled. Because we believe in collective well-being. Because compassion is a survival strategy more powerful than individual preservation. The Nixtal struggled to understand. Their entire civilization was built on precise calculations. Every interaction was measured, every relationship evaluated for maximum genetic and resource efficiency. Humans were different. Messy. Unpredictable. Beautiful. Aaron's skin began displaying rapid color changes, a sign of deep internal processing. She was witnessing something revolutionary. These humans weren't just another species. They were a completely different way of existing. The presentation continued. HFY showed examples of human creativity born from emotional connections. Art created from grief. Music composed from love. Scientific breakthroughs inspired by compassion. Emotions are not weakness, he said firmly. They are our greatest strength. One by one, the Nixtal researchers began to realize something profound. Human unpredictability wasn't a flaw. It was an extraordinary adaptation. Commander Aaron asked the question burning in everyone's mind. But how can a society survive with such chaos? HFY's response was simple and powerful. By turning chaos into connection. The room fell silent. Something fundamental was shifting. The Nixtal were seeing humanity not as a lesser species, but as potential revolutionaries of understanding. Outside the conference room, stars continued their silent journey. Millions of light years away, countless civilizations existed. But here, in this moment, two species were learning that intelligence came in many forms. Erin's skin settled into a soft, luminescent purple, a color her species rarely displayed. It signaled something close to wonder. Something very near to hope. The universe listened, the alarm screamed through the starship's corridors. Red emergency lights pulsed, casting sharp shadows across metal walls. Jaiwa's hands flew across the control panel, calculating potential escape routes through the dense asteroid field. Behind him, an Nixtal tactical team watched in silent disbelief. Their own navigation systems would have already calculated certain destruction. Humans seemed to operate differently, intuition mixed with calculated risk. "We're going through," Jaiwu announced. No hesitation. No fear. The massive battlecruiser, carrying both human and Nixtal survivors, was under heavy attack from the Krell invasion fleet. Massive energy weapons sliced through space, cutting massive holes in nearby planetary systems. Aaron watched Jaiwa's movements. Her species would have computed 1,000 potential scenarios. Humans seemed to feel their way through challenges. Probability of survival is 0.03%, a Nixtal computer calculated clinically. Jaiwu smiled. Those are not zero chances. His fingers danced across specialized navigation controls. The ship didn't just move, it flowed. Anticipating asteroid movements, sliding between massive space rocks with impossible precision. The Krell attack ships pursued, massive predatory machines designed for total destruction. Their weapons could obliterate entire planetary systems. But they didn't understand human unpredictability. Hyok Kim, sitting at the communication station, was already organizing a counterplan. Not just with humans, but with the Nixtal survivors. Mixed teams. Collaborative strategies. We're going to use their own technology against them, he said quietly. Aaron's skin shifted colors: surprise, curiosity, a hint of excitement. The humans were transforming a hopeless situation into a potential victory. The ship twisted impossibly. Normal navigation systems would have failed. Human pilots operated on something beyond pure mathematics: instinct, experience, collective understanding. Suddenly, the asteroid field became a weapon. Jaiwo wasn't just navigating, he was fighting. Using massive space rocks as shields, as potential projectiles, as complex defensive structures. The Krell ships, designed for pure mathematical precision, couldn't adapt. They saw obstacles. Humans saw opportunities. One by one, Krell ships crashed. Not through superior firepower, but through creative problem-solving. Humans turned a potential extinction event into a strategic masterclass. Aaron realized something profound. Emotional intelligence wasn't weakness. It was the most advanced survival mechanism in the universe. As the last Krell ship exploded, silence filled the ship's bridge. Humans and Nixtal looked at each other. Something had changed forever. They had survived. Together. The universe listened, the research center hummed with quiet intensity. Aaron stood before a massive holographic display, her skin shifting between deep blues and silvery greens as she compiled her groundbreaking findings about human behavior. Stacks of data surrounded her. Thousands of hours of human interactions, documented with scientific precision. But these were not just numbers. They were a revolution waiting to happen. Her latest discovery challenged everything the Nixtal civilization believed about intelligent life. Humans were not just survivors. They were transformers of reality. The hologram showed moments of human connection. A soldier carrying an injured companion through impossible terrain. A group of scientists working together despite personal differences. Children sharing food with strangers. Each image represented something the Nixtal had never understood: emotional resilience. Hyok Kim watched from across the room. He knew Aaron was documenting something extraordinary. The moment when one species truly began to understand another. Your species does not calculate, Aaron said quietly. You feel. And feeling is a form of calculation more complex than any computer. The Nixtal leadership would not like her conclusions. For generations, they had believed that pure logic was the ultimate survival strategy. Humans proved that emotion was its own form of intelligence. Outside the research center, the galaxy continued its silent dance. Millions of star systems, countless civilizations. But here, in this moment, something fundamental was changing. Aaron's research showed how human emotional bonds created strengths no algorithm could predict. When traditional systems failed, human creativity emerged. They didn't just survive. They reimagined survival. Her documentation included impossible scenarios. Teams that succeeded through mutual support. Communities that rebuilt after total destruction. Individuals who transformed collective trauma into collective strength. The Nixtal had always separated emotion from intelligence. Humans integrated them completely. Her skin flickered with complex patterns: excitement, discovery, a revolutionary understanding. The universe was more complex than any single species could comprehend. Hyok approached, holding a cup of warm tea. A simple human gesture of connection. Your people will resist these findings, he said softly. Aaron's response was immediate. Truth cannot be resisted forever. The research center felt like a threshold. Between what was known and what was about to be discovered. Between old understanding and new possibility. Somewhere in the vast darkness of space, human and Nixtal ships continued their joint missions, proving that connection was the most advanced technology in existence. The universe listened. Waiting, the great assembly hall of the Nixtal central government trembled with tension. Erin stood at the center, her body radiating a soft luminescent glow that signaled something unprecedented, pure conviction. Thousands of Nixtal leaders watched her. Their emotionless faces betrayed nothing, but their collective energy suggested something was about to change forever. Humans are not just another species, Erin began. Her voice carried through the massive chamber, clear and strong. They are a fundamental reimagining of intelligent existence. Behind her, holographic displays showed human achievements. Not just technological progress, but emotional evolution. Scenes of community, sacrifice, unexpected connection flickered like living memories. The senior council members shifted uncomfortably. Their entire civilization was built on precise calculations, genetic optimization, and emotional detachment. Humans challenged everything they understood about survival. Hyok Kim stood quietly in the background, representing humanity. He understood this was more than a diplomatic meeting. This was a moment of species-level transformation. Erin continued her presentation. She showed how human emotional intelligence solved problems their most advanced computers could not. How compassion became a survival mechanism more powerful than pure logic. "We have been wrong," she declared. The words hung in the air like a thunderclap. Her research documented incredible human capabilities. Teams that achieved impossible missions through mutual support. Communities that rebuilt after total destruction. Individuals who transformed collective trauma into collective strength. The Nixtal leadership struggled to comprehend. Their entire evolutionary path had been about elimination of emotional complexity. Humans proved that complexity was not a weakness, but the most advanced form of intelligence. Outside the assembly hall, the galaxy continued its silent rotation. Millions of star systems watched this moment of potential change. Erin's skin began displaying complex color patterns, a visual representation of her revolutionary thoughts. Blues mixed with greens, silver streaks indicating intellectual breakthrough. "We must learn from them," she said simply. "Not conquer. Not analyze. Learn." Hyok noticed something extraordinary happening. The Nixtal were actually listening. Not just processing information, but truly hearing. The holographic displays continued showing human moments. A child helping an elderly person. Scientists collaborating across cultural differences. Strangers supporting each other during crisis. These were not just images. They were a new definition of intelligence. The senior council's lead representative finally spoke. His voice carried centuries of rigid thinking. But something had changed. "Explain further," he requested. And so Erin did. She explained how humans transformed challenges into opportunities. How emotional connection was not a weakness, but the most sophisticated survival strategy in the universe. The assembly hall felt like a threshold. Between what was known and what was about to be discovered. Between old understanding and new possibility. Somewhere in the vast darkness of space, human and Nixtal ships continued their joint missions, proving that connection was the most advanced technology in existence. The universe listened, waiting for what would come next.